This mobile workbench and tool storage cart is super functional. Stick around and I'll show you how to build it. And also check out the video descriptions for a link to my blog post where I will supply you with these free plans. This mobile workbench is built mainly out of 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood, which I cut down with a handheld saw so I could manage them on my table saw. I drew up plans and a detailed cut list to get maximum parts out of each sheet. I ended up not building one section, but left it in the plans for anyone that wants it. The cut list is color coded, so I gave each color a number and then numbered all of the parts as I cut them. This made it easy to sort all of the required pieces for each individual project. After using the table saw, there are a few additional cuts needed that are best made with a miter saw. I used Craftsman's 7¼ inch sliding miter saw, which runs off of their V20 batteries. At less than 22 pounds, it's easy for me to move around so I can set it out of the way until I need it again. I assembled the tabletop frame using wood glue, 18 gauge nails, and then screws. The vertical supports are for strength. The cleats are for securing the frame to the cabinets below and the bench top above. Next, I built the 2 side cabinets. I assemble the cabinets using glue, nails, and screws. The nails simply hold things in place until I'm able to drive the screws. And I always get asked about my corner clamps, so I'll put links in the video description to both of those. The cabinet backs are 1/4 inch plywood. Always square up boxes before attaching the back. I use wood glue and staples to do that. Cabinet 2 is built like the first one. I sized these cabinets to hold the Craftsman drawer bin systems. For this cabinet, I stacked 2 of the 9 large drawer bins together and added a fixed shelf to hold these bins at the top of the cabinet. The next section I built was the tool hanger. The dividers are 4 inches tall and I spaced the compartments 3¼ inches apart. That will house the largest tool I intend to store here, which is a 16 gauge nail gun. I secured the dividers with glue, nails, and then screws. Using a spacer helps place the dividers quickly and consistently. I sand all the exposed parts so they don't have sharp edges, which would be easier to do before assembly. The compartments need partial bottoms. They need to hold the tool in place but have slit openings for the tool handles. The size for these openings should be customized to your specific tools. I made most of my openings the same size and used a caliper as a quick guide. My 2 center compartments are slightly smaller to house a stapler and 23 gauge nail gun. Since this is a work cart, it's going to get dinged and marked up. A couple coats of paint will seal it and protect it from spills, and make it easy to touch up when it gets looking dingy. It would be easier to paint before assembly, but then the wood glue wouldn't adhere to the wood, so sometimes you just have to paint with difficulty. I secured the 2 cabinets to the bottom with screws, then turned it on its side to attach and paint the back, which had already been painted on the other side. Next, I attached the top frame to the cabinets. The tool hanger came next. I secured it from the side by screwing through the back of the cabinets as well as screwing down through the cleats on the top frame. For my tabletop, I glued down a layer of 1/2 inch MDF. My intention was to add a second layer, secured with dowels so I could replace it as needed. However, with the cross braces, it's a really sturdy tabletop as is, so I'll add another layer when this top is ready for a resurface. I bulked up the bottom with strips of 3/4 inch plywood so I could use longer screws to attach 5 inch locking casters. I locked all 4 of them before tipping my workbench upright. Then I finished painting everything but the tabletop. I installed the Versatrack wall organizer system on the back side. The starter kit comes with a bunch of hooks and 2 rails, so I bought 3 additional rails to fill in the space. My Lowe's didn't have additional end caps, so I'll have to add those later. I do like how finished it looks with that border. I put my drawer bin systems in place and secured them to the back of the cabinets through their mounting strips. Now I can start putting things away. Tools not stored in the tool hanger will be stored on the Versatrack wall system. Most of the Craftsman tools have an access point for special clips that hang right on the Versatrack. With the Versatrack and the tool hanger, I can store almost every single tool I use on a daily basis. I also added a magnetic strip to one side to hold things like screwdrivers and chisels. Then I nailed a scrap of MDF around the bottom edge to create a lip that would keep things from sliding off. Underneath the large drawer bins is the perfect place for 3 large screw boxes. On the other side where I put the small drawer bins, I can add more shelves, but I don't have anything else to put away. So I'll just wait until I need storage and decide how to use this space. My mobile workbench stores a lot of tools in a very organized and easily accessible way. I designed it to easily fit through most doorways so I can wheel it around in my workshop or a house that I'm renovating. Currently, I'm working on my own house. Living in a house while you renovate it can get chaotic, so it's especially important for me to have one drop zone. Otherwise, I set things down on this countertop here or that table there, and soon I can't find a single thing that I was just holding a second ago. Having one place to keep supplies and set tools when they're not in use saves me from wasting a lot of time looking for things. Big thank you to Craftsman Tools for sponsoring this build, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.